right now. Very pleased to have with us the president of Buckeyes for Concealed Carry on Campus, Mr. Joe Smith. Joe, how you doing tonight, sir?
Hey, sir, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Oh, no, it's my pleasure.
All right. So, first of all, glad that you and your family are okay. Did you ever expect, Joe? I mean, I guess you'd always kind of thought you might be the victim of a crime, but when you went out Saturday night, did you think you were going to end up using your firearm to save you and your family's life?
Well, does anybody ever really think that before they leave the house? I don't think so, and I sure didn't. So, no, like I said, I didn't expect to use it. I went out there just like it was every other day, and it went down. So I decided I had to use my firearm.
So, what exactly happened Saturday night, Joe?
Well, me and my wife went out to Tuttle. It's a mall here. It's a bigger mall. The shirts there we were looking for some Steelers apparel. Ended up not really having what we were looking for there. Our son needed a nap. We brought him home. Decided to go to a place that was a little bit closer to home, kind of on a side of town that we try to stay away from. But it was close. We didn't really feel like going out, so we decided to go anyway. We pull up into the parking lot, and kind of, ironic thing is my wife says, "Do you have your firearm on you?" I said, "Yeah, of course." So she gets out of the vehicle. She starts putting my son in the stroller. The guy starts making cat calls at her. Starts making his way over to my vehicle as I got out of my truck. So we say, this probably isn't the best decision. So we try to get out of there. We try to beat feet. My wife starts taking my son out of the stroller. And I'm telling her to get back in the vehicle. He's approaching, starts making threats, saying that he has a firearm, saying that he has no problem killing all of us. He got close enough to where I thought he was a threat, and with the threats that he made, I made the decision to go ahead and pull my firearm. As I did so, he immediately threw his hands up in the air. I called his bluff. I was ready to fire on the guy. I got to be honest, we were pretty terrified. So I was ready to fire at him. I decided because he threw his hands up in the air, I didn't necessarily need to do that.
Yeah.
Situation alleviated.
And so, what, did you just hold him until police were able to get there?
No, actually, he was telling me about how his mother had cancer and he didn't know how to deal with all this, that, and the other. So just as he was standing there with his hands up, my wife was on the phone with the police. An older vehicle pulls up. I have no idea who it was. They came. He jumped in the vehicle. I let him go. I just wanted my family to be safe.
Right.
I didn't grab the license plate number. Wasn't really thinking about it at the time. He took off. Cop showed up a couple minutes later.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what did the deputy say to you?
As a matter of fact, the deputy said that that he believes that this is the reason why all lawful citizens should be able to carry a concealed handgun, and that he firmly believes in it. I'm paraphrasing, of course.
Really?
Yep, that's right.
Wow.
Yep, Mr. Sheriff.
Well, I got to say, I'm not really surprised to hear that from a rank and file guy. Most beat cops you talk to would much rather arrive on the scene where somebody was able to defend themselves than arrive on the scene of a crime where someone was not.
Well, Cam, I think it really boils down to the individual more so. I think that there's a lot of people out there, especially at my university. There's a lot of people you think that, would really be basing their arguments in facts and logic and statistics. That officer, I think that he did. I think that he knows the facts. I think he's probably been around long enough to be able to determine that an armed populace is the best way to deter crime. At my university, Ohio State, the educated administration that we have there and some of the students, they don't necessarily feel that way as educated as they are.
Well, no, and, do you think, Joe, are you seeing any inroads being made in that regard?
So what do you mean?
Well, I mean, in terms of the changing attitudes, is it a generational thing? I mean, and how do you change those attitudes?
Well, I really think it's like a lot of other hot topic issues. At first it seems like a really radical idea. Guns on campus this is a terrible idea. We can't have this. But just like with all the other hot topic issues, once that seed gets embedded, it starts to grow. And the walls that say that this is a terribly radical idea start to come down. So we're pitching this to the student body. We're educating them. We're saying, here are the statistics. You guys are all scholars. Put your finger on this. This is a fact. You can look at this from other states and other universities and say, this has worked here. And as we keep pushing, we keep coming at the administrators. We keep coming at the student body. We're showing them the facts. We're proving our points. It's hard to refute the evidence. So, that wall is just it's going to come down eventually, just like with the other issues that are going on right now.
Right, right. Yeah, I think so. I was really heartened to see in Colorado recently the student paper there at the University of Colorado chided the Board of Regents for not respecting a court decision when it came to campus carry. They chided the Board of Regents for this sort of segregationist policy where we'll put the concealed carry holders in a separate dorm. And it was. I got to tell you, Joe, it was really nice to see the student paper take a very mature stance that this is much ado about nothing, and the regents need to respect the law.
Right. No, I absolutely agree. It makes a whole lot of sense.
It does, and one more question for you before we let you go. I've seen there have been some crimes on the campus at Ohio State University, both
Right.
last year and this year. When those crimes happen, clearly these students have to understand that the campus is not crime free. That the prohibition on carrying a firearm on a campus isn't going to stop somebody who's interested in committing an armed robbery. Do those things resonate? Do they register at all with the student body?
I think that goes back to the individuality thing. Some people just have so much emotion. You got to remember, a lot of these folks have been looking at this issue their whole life one way. And when we say, look at the crime that's happened, your methods aren't really working, it's getting down to the core of their beliefs, and it's hard for them to change that. And I understand,
Right.
I think that it is resonating. I think, like I said, it's just going to take some time.
All right. Well, listen, Joe, I really appreciate you coming on the program tonight, sir. Great talking to you.
Hey, thanks a lot, sir. I appreciate you having me.
You bet. And if folks want more information, if we've got any Ohio State University students listening tonight who want to learn more about Buckeyes for concealed carry on campus, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, well, you can go to buckeyesforconcealedcarry.com. And also, I'm pretty sure Mike Newbern told you about this, but we made our lawsuit against the university official. We're suing the Ohio State University. So if anybody who's listening to your program wants to come to our page and donate, that would be a great way. These lawsuits are expensive, and we would really appreciate the help.
All right. Well, listen, Joe, thanks again for your time tonight, sir, and look forward to talking to you again very soon.
Hey, thanks, sir. Take care.